Welcome to
Magic Story Animations.
Once upon a time, in a world where the trees danced with the breeze and the sun smiled warmly from above, there lived a young boy named Aaron. Aaron had bright blue eyes that sparkled like sapphires and brown hair that shone like polished chestnuts in the sunlight. He loved wearing his favorite green sweater, brown pants, and white sneakers that were perfect for his adventures. Aaron lived in a small, cozy village, surrounded by the enchanting forests of deciduous and coniferous trees. In the heart of summer, when the leaves were at their greenest, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, Aaron decided to go on an adventure in the woods. The woods were a magical place for Aaron. As he stepped into the forest, the leaves rustled under his feet, creating a melody that only the forest could play. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting a kaleidoscope of light and shadows on the forest floor. Aaron felt a sense of peace and happiness as he ventured deeper into the woods. Aaron's adventurous spirit guided him along the winding paths, where tall, deciduous trees reached up to the sky and sturdy coniferous trees stood like loyal guardians of the forest. He marveled at the different shapes and sizes of the leaves, some as wide as his hand and others as delicate as a feather. As he explored, Aaron found a small clearing surrounded by the most beautiful flowers he had ever seen. The flowers were of every color imaginable: reds, yellows, blues, and purples, all swaying gently in the breeze. Aaron sat down in the middle of the clearing and took a moment to enjoy the beauty around him. He felt as if the flowers were smiling at him, welcoming him to their secret garden. Aaron's kind and helpful nature always made him think of ways to care for the forest. He made sure not to harm any plants or disturb the tranquility of the woods. He picked up a fallen branch that was blocking the path and gently placed it aside, making sure the path was clear for his next visit. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Aaron realized it was time to head back home. He took one last look at the forest, feeling grateful for the wonderful adventure he had. He promised himself that he would return soon to explore more of the enchanting woods. Aaron made his way back to the village, his heart full of joy and his mind filled with beautiful memories of his adventure. He knew that the forest would always be there, waiting for him with new wonders to discover. And so, Aaron's love for adventures in the woods continued, each journey bringing him closer to the magic of nature.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land blanketed with snow and embraced by tall, majestic mountains, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Fiona. With her sparkling blue eyes and golden blonde hair, Fiona was as bright as a sunbeam against the winter wonderland. She lived in a cozy stone village nestled at the foot of the mountains, where each home looked like a tiny piece from a grand snowy puzzle. Fiona, wearing her favorite blue dress and white heels, loved to explore the mountains. Every day, she would set off on a new adventure, her heart filled with wonder and excitement. The villagers often spoke of the magic hidden in the mountains, but Fiona thought these were just stories to make the cold winter nights pass more quickly. One crisp, snowy morning, Fiona decided to explore a part of the mountain she had never seen before. She walked through the thick snow, leaving a trail of tiny footprints behind her. The sun shone brightly, turning the snow into a glittering blanket that stretched as far as the eye could see. As she ventured further, she came across a narrow path that wound its way up the mountain. Curious and undaunted, Fiona followed the path. It led her through a forest of snow-covered trees and across a frozen stream that sparkled like diamonds in the sun. After a long walk, Fiona reached a clearing. There, to her amazement, stood a magnificent blue dragon. The dragon's scales shimmered in the sunlight, and its eyes were as deep and blue as the winter sky. Fiona, although startled, did not feel afraid. She remembered her village's tales of a gentle dragon that guarded the mountains, and she wondered if this was the creature from the stories. The dragon looked at Fiona with curiosity. It seemed as gentle as the villagers had described, and Fiona felt a strange sense of friendship towards it. She approached the dragon slowly, and to her surprise, it lowered its head to gently nuzzle her hand. Fiona and the dragon spent the day together in the mountain. She learned that the dragon was the guardian of the mountain and loved to watch over the forest and its creatures. The dragon showed Fiona the hidden beauty of the mountain's sparkling ice caves, a waterfall frozen in time, and a meadow filled with snowflowers. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Fiona knew it was time to return to her village. She thanked the dragon for showing her the wonders of the mountain. The dragon let out a soft, melodious roar, as if to say goodbye. Fiona made her way back home, her heart filled with joy, and her mind brimming with incredible stories to tell. She knew that this adventure was just the beginning of many more to come. From that day on, whenever she looked at the mountains, she thought of her friend, the blue dragon. And sometimes, on clear winter nights, she would see a blue figure soaring high above the mountains, watching over her and her village. And so, Fiona's life was filled with happiness and adventure, all thanks to a magical winter day when she met a dragon, a guardian of the mountain and a friend for life.
Once upon a time, in the vast and twinkling expanse of space, there lived a brave and kind-hearted cyborg girl named Clara. She wore a striking spacesuit of black and red, and her hair was as dark as the endless night sky. Clara wasn't like other girls. She was part human, part robot, which made her very special. She lived in a cozy little spacecraft, which she called Star Whisper, and together they travelled across the galaxy, exploring new and exciting planets. Clara loved adventures more than anything. She had a curious mind and a heart full of dreams. Each new star she saw, each planet she visited, was a chance to discover something amazing. And the best part? She could share these discoveries with her friends back home through her magical space journal, which sent messages across the stars. One bright and shimmering morning, as the distant suns painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Clara decided it was time for a new adventure. She set her course for a distant planet, one that she had never visited before. It was a mysterious world, said to be filled with wonders beyond imagination. As Star Whisper zipped through space, Clara looked out of her window, her eyes wide with excitement. The stars seemed to dance around her, welcoming her on her journey. After what felt like a blink of an eye, she arrived at the planet. It was a beautiful sight, with swirling colours of blue and green and clouds that sparkled like diamonds. Clara put on her space helmet and stepped out of Star Whisper. The ground was soft beneath her feet, and the air was filled with a gentle, sweet melody. She felt as if the planet was greeting her, inviting her to explore its secrets. Little did she know, a delightful surprise awaited her on this enchanting world. As Clara ventured further into the mesmerizing landscape of the planet, she noticed that the ground was covered in a soft, spongy moss that felt like walking on clouds. The sky above was a tapestry of colors she had never seen before, with comets streaking across it like shooting stars. The planet was alive with strange and beautiful plants that twinkled and glowed, lighting her path. Some of the plants were tall and slender, reaching up to the sky, while others were short and spread across the ground like a carpet of living jewels. The air was filled with the sweet scent of unknown flowers, and every step Clara took stirred up tiny sparks that danced around her feet. As she wandered, Clara came across a clear, shimmering stream. The water was like liquid crystal, and when she touched it, ripples of light spread out in all directions. She knelt down to take a closer look and saw that the stream was teeming with tiny, glowing fish. They swam up to her, curious about this new visitor, and Clara laughed in delight. It was then that she heard a soft, melodic sound. It was unlike anything she had ever heard, a gentle, harmonious tune that seemed to come from all around her. Clara followed the sound, her heart beating with excitement. She came to a clearing, and there, in the middle of a ring of glowing flowers, was the most adorable creature she had ever seen. The creature was small and round, with big, bright eyes, and a body that shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. It had little wings that fluttered rapidly, and as it flew, it left a trail of sparkling light behind it. The creature seemed just as surprised to see Clara as she was to see it. It tilted its head, looking at her curiously. "Hello," Clara said softly, not wanting to scare it. "My name is Clara. I come from far away. Who are you?" The creature blinked its large eyes, and then, to Clara's amazement, it spoke. Its voice was soft and musical, like the sound of wind chimes. "Hello, Clara," it said. "I am Lumo, a light sprite of this planet. You are the first visitor we have had in a very long time." Clara's eyes widened in wonder. "A light sprite? That's amazing. This planet is so beautiful. I've never seen anything like it." Lumo fluttered around her, its light brightening with joy. "We light sprites take care of this planet, making sure everything grows and stays beautiful. Would you like to see more?" Clara nodded eagerly, and with a happy twirl, Lumo led the way. Together, they explored the planet, with Lumo showing her the wonders it held. They saw fields of flowers that sang in the wind, trees that bore fruits of every color, and mountains that shone like glass under the light of the twin moons. As they traveled, Clara and Lumo talked about their worlds. Clara told Lumo about her life in space, about the stars and the planets she had seen. Lumo listened with wide-eyed wonder, hanging on every word. In turn, Lumo told Clara about the planet, about the other light sprites, and the magic that kept it alive. The day turned into night, and the planet transformed once again. The sky lit up with 1 billion stars, each one shimmering like a diamond. The plants and trees glowed brighter, creating a landscape of light and color. Clara had never seen anything so beautiful. She felt a sense of peace and happiness she had never known before. As they sat watching the stars, Lumo turned to Clara. "You have a kind heart, Clara. You see the beauty in everything. That is a rare gift." Clara smiled, feeling a warm glow in her heart. "Thank you, Lumo. Meeting you has been the best part of my adventure. This is a memory I will cherish forever." Lumo smiled back, its light shining even brighter. "And I will always remember you, Clara, the brave explorer from the stars." The next morning, it was time for Clara to leave. She promised Lumo that she would return one day, and Lumo promised to keep the planet beautiful for her. They said their goodbyes, and with a heart full of new dreams and memories, Clara boarded Star Whisper and set off into the stars once again, ready for her next great adventure. And so, Clara's journey continued, across the galaxy and beyond, always looking for new wonders, always ready to make new friends. And wherever she went, she carried with her the light of the planet and the friendship of Lumo, the light sprite.
Once upon a time, in a magical forest where tall, ancient trees reached towards the sky, there lived a young elf boy named Elenian. Elenian had light skin that shimmered under the sun's rays, long blonde hair that flowed like a golden river, and sparkling purple eyes that held the mysteries of the forest. He wore a dark green long-sleeve shirt, light green spandex pants, and a sturdy brown leather belt, which was his favorite because it had been gifted to him by his father. Elenian was known throughout his clan for his adventurous spirit and insatiable curiosity. He lived high up in the treetops with his clan, in homes carved with intricate designs that blended seamlessly into the forest's canopy. The elf clan was a community of skilled artisans, healers, and storytellers, and they lived in harmony with the magical forest around them. One sunny morning, Elenian woke up with a sparkle in his eyes. Today, he had decided, was the day for a grand adventure. He had heard tales of a mysterious mountain cave located at the edge of their territory, where it was said that a treasure chest filled with gold, silver, and other precious riches lay hidden. The stories of the treasure had been passed down through generations, and no one from his clan had ever ventured far enough to find it. Elenian, filled with determination and excitement, decided he would be the one to uncover this secret. After a hearty breakfast of honeyed fruits and nut bread, Elenian set out on his journey. He traversed through the lush forest, greeting the fluttering leaves and whispering winds as old friends. The path to the mountain was not easy. It was filled with twisted roots and hidden trails. But Elenian, with his keen elf senses and knowledge of the forest, moved with grace and agility. As the day progressed, the forest slowly gave way to rocky terrain, and the tall trees were replaced by rugged mountains that seemed to touch the sky. Elenian gazed up at the towering peaks with awe, feeling a small thrill at the thought of exploring the uncharted cave. After several hours of hiking, Elenian finally arrived at the base of the mountain. He looked up at the towering peak, trying to spot the cave. It was then that he noticed a narrow path winding up the mountain, partially hidden by overgrown bushes. Elenian's heart raced with excitement. This had to be the way to the cave. With renewed energy, Elenian began his ascent. The path was steep and treacherous, with loose stones and slippery moss. But Elenian was not deterred. He climbed higher and higher, his eyes fixed on the goal. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, he reached a large, shadowy opening in the mountain's side. It was the cave he had been searching for. Elenian stepped into the cave, his purple eyes adjusting to the darkness. The air was cool and damp, and the sound of his footsteps echoed off the walls. He took a deep breath and ventured further in, his heart pounding with anticipation. The cave was larger than he had imagined, with winding tunnels and high ceilings that sparkled with crystals. Elenian explored each corner, marveling at the natural beauty of the place. And then, in the deepest part of the cave, he found it. There, sitting in a beam of light that filtered through a crack in the ceiling, was the treasure chest. It was old and covered in dust, but its intricate carvings and sturdy build spoke of its value. Elenian approached it slowly, his hands trembling with excitement. He reached out and lifted the lid. Elenian's eyes widened in amazement as the lid of the chest creaked open. Inside, the chest was filled to the brim with glittering gold coins, shimmering silver pieces, and jewels of every color imaginable. The treasures sparkled under the faint light, casting a kaleidoscope of colors on the cave walls. Elenian was mesmerized by the sight. It was more magnificent than anything he had ever seen or imagined. For a moment, he stood there, simply staring at the treasure, awestruck by its beauty. Then, he reached out and gently picked up a gold coin, feeling its weight in his hand. The coin was old and bore a strange symbol that Elenian had never seen before. He wondered about the stories and journeys this coin might have witnessed over the years. As Elenian looked around the cave, he realized that this treasure was not just a collection of valuable items. It was a legacy of history and mystery, waiting to be discovered. He felt a deep sense of connection to the past and an overwhelming sense of responsibility to protect this treasure. Elenyon knew that he couldn't take the treasure back with him. It belonged here, in the heart of the mountain, a secret kept safe by the cave. He decided that he would take only a single coin as a memento of his adventure and leave the rest undisturbed. This way, the treasure would continue to be a mystery, a legend that would inspire future generations of his clan. With a contented heart, Elenyon carefully closed the chest, leaving it just as he had found it. He then made his way out of the cave, the gold coin securely tucked in his pocket. The journey back home was long and tiring, but Elenyon's spirit was light. He had embarked on an adventure and had found something far more valuable than gold or silver. He had discovered a part of history, a tale that he would share with his clan, adding to the rich tapestry of stories passed down through the generations. As Elenyon finally reached the treetops of his home, the sun was setting, casting a warm golden glow over the forest. His family and friends gathered around, eager to hear about his adventure. Elenyon shared his story, his eyes shining with excitement. He spoke of the journey, the cave, and the treasure chest, and he showed them the single gold coin, which now held a special place in his heart. The clan listened in wonder, their eyes reflecting the light of the setting sun and the fire of their camp. They celebrated Elenyon's bravery and his wise decision to leave the treasure untouched. That night, the forest was filled with music, laughter, and the magic of storytelling. Elenyon went to bed with a smile on his face, knowing that his adventure would become a part of the clan's legends. He drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the sparkling treasure chest and the many more adventures that awaited him in the magical forest. And so, the story of Elenyon and the mountain cave treasure was passed down through the ages, inspiring young elves for generations to come. It was a reminder of the wonders that lay hidden in the world, and the joy of discovering them, not for riches, but for the love of adventure and the stories that they become a part of.
Once upon a time, in a magical forest where towering trees touched the sky, there lived an adventurous elf girl named Elenath. Her skin was as pale as the moonlight that filtered through the leaves, and her long black hair shimmered like the night sky. Her eyes sparkled with the vibrant hue of autumn leaves, a vivid orange that seemed to dance with life. Elenath wore a dark blue dress that flowed like a gentle stream around her, and a black leather belt encircled her waist, from which hung various pouches filled with mysterious ingredients. She was not an ordinary elf. Elenath was a young enchantress, gifted with the rare talent of weaving magic into the very fabric of nature. The forest Elenath called home was no ordinary place. It was a haven for elves and dwarfs, a place where magic thrived in every leaf and stone. The elf clan, to which Elenath belonged, lived high in the treetops, in houses crafted from the living wood, harmonious with the whispering leaves and singing birds. Below them, the dwarfs carved their homes into the ancient roots of these great trees, creating a symphony of life both above and below the ground. Elenath loved her forest home, but her heart yearned for adventure beyond the familiar branches and leafy canopies. Every day, she practiced her enchantments, hoping to unlock new mysteries and powers. She dreamt of discovering hidden paths in the forest, enchanted realms that lay beyond the reach of ordinary folk. One sunny morning, as the forest awoke to the chorus of birds and the soft rustling of leaves, Elenath decided it was time for her to embark on an adventure. She had heard tales of a hidden glade, a place of untold magic and ancient secrets, known only to those who could unravel its mysteries. Elenith was determined to find this enchanted place. She began her journey at dawn, her heart beating with excitement. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the familiar paths gave way to untamed wilderness. The trees grew taller, their branches interlocking in a dense canopy above, casting the forest floor into a gentle twilight. Elenith felt a thrill of anticipation. This was the uncharted part of the forest, where few had ventured and fewer still had returned from. As she walked, Elenith sang softly, an old elvish melody that her mother had taught her. The song was more than just a tune. It was a spell, a way to harmonize her presence with the forest. The magic in her voice seemed to brighten the path ahead, and the forest responded to her call. Flowers bloomed in her footsteps, and the air shimmered with a faint, otherworldly glow. Elenith knew that the key to finding the hidden glade lay in understanding the language of the forest. She listened intently to the whispering leaves, the murmuring brooks, and the distant call of birds. Each sound was a note in an ancient symphony, a piece of the puzzle she needed to solve. As the sun reached its zenith, Elenith came upon a clearing. In the center stood an ancient tree, larger and older than any she had seen before. Its trunk was wide and gnarled, its branches heavy with the weight of countless years. Elenith felt a surge of magic emanating from the tree. It was as if the very heart of the forest beat within its ancient wood. Approaching the tree, Elenith noticed strange symbols carved into the bark, runes of a forgotten language. She reached out, tracing the lines with her fingers, and as she did so, the air around her began to shimmer with magic. The runes glowed softly, responding to her touch, and a gentle breeze whispered secrets in her ear. Elenith realized that this tree was a guardian, a keeper of the path to the hidden glade. To pass beyond, she needed to unlock its secrets. She closed her eyes, focusing her magic, and began to chant an enchantment, one that her grandmother had taught her long ago. The words were old, older than the trees themselves, and as she spoke them, the forest seemed to hold its breath. The runes on the tree glowed brighter, and a soft light emanated from the ground, illuminating a path that led into the heart of the forest. Elenith knew that this was her path, the way to the hidden glade. With a heart full of excitement and a little trepidation, she stepped forward, following the magical trail that had opened before her. The path twisted and turned, leading her deeper into the forest. The air grew cooler, and the light dimmed as the canopy above became denser. Elenith felt a sense of wonder and awe. She was walking in a part of the forest that few had seen, a realm where magic was as tangible as the earth beneath her feet. After what seemed like hours, the path finally opened into a breathtaking glade. The air was alive with shimmering lights, like tiny stars floating in the forest air. In the center of the glade stood a crystal-clear pool, its waters reflecting the sky above. Elenith approached the pool, her heart racing with anticipation. She knew that this was a place of great power, a nexus of magic where the veil between worlds was thin. She could feel the energy pulsing through the air, a symphony of nature's deepest secrets. As she knelt by the pool, Elenith gazed into its depths. The water was so clear that she could see the very bottom, where a mosaic of colorful stones formed an intricate pattern. She realized that this was not just a pool. It was a portal, a gateway to other realms, other possibilities. Elenith reached into her pouch and took out a small crystal, a gift from her grandmother. She held it over the water, and as she did so, the crystal began to glow with a soft inner light. She whispered a spell, a call to the ancient powers that dwelled in this sacred place. The water of the pool stirred, and the surface shimmered with 1,000 colors. Elenoth watched in awe as the water rose into the air, forming a swirling vortex of light and energy. She could feel the pull of the portal, a call to step into the unknown. With a deep breath, Elenoth stepped forward, entering the vortex. The world around her spun in a kaleidoscope of light and color, and she felt herself being pulled into another realm, a place of endless possibilities. When the world finally stilled, Elenoth found herself in a land unlike any she had ever seen. The sky was a vibrant shade of purple, and the trees glowed with an ethereal light. Strange, wondrous creatures flitted through the air, their wings shimmering like jewels. Elenoth realized that she had entered the realm of the Fae, a place of ancient magic and untold mysteries. She felt a thrill of excitement. This was the adventure she had been dreaming of, a journey into a world beyond her wildest imagination. As she explored this new realm, Elenoth discovered that she had a unique connection to the magic here. Her enchantments were stronger, more potent, and she could communicate with the creatures of the Fae in ways she had never imagined. She learned their secrets, their stories, and in doing so, she gained a deeper understanding of her own powers. Elenoth spent what seemed like days in the realm of the Fae, exploring its wonders and learning its secrets. But she knew that she could not stay forever. Her heart belonged to the forest, to her clan and her home. With a heavy heart, Elenoth bid farewell to the creatures of the Fae and stepped back into the portal. The vortex of light and color enveloped her, and she felt herself being pulled back to her own world. When Elenoth emerged from the portal, she found herself back in the magical glade, the crystal-clear pool reflecting the sky above. She knew that she had been changed by her journey, that she had gained knowledge and power beyond what she had ever imagined. With a sense of purpose and newfound confidence, Elenoth returned to her clan. She shared her adventures and the secrets she had learned, and she used her enhanced enchantments to protect and enrich the forest she called home. Elenoth's journey had taught her that magic was not just a tool, but a bridge to other worlds, a way to connect with the mysteries of the universe. She knew that her adventures were just beginning, that there were still many paths to explore and many secrets to uncover. And so, Elenoth continued to weave her enchantments, to protect her forest home, and explore the boundless realms of magic. Her heart was filled with wonder and joy, for she knew that her journey was far from over, and that the greatest adventures were still to come.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.